Welcome back. All right. So, the Battle of Florida tonight. I will say this: it had a slow start, and even the announcers, and I was watching the Sportsnet announcers, saying that this kind of had a slow start to it. Teams feeling each other out, and it was almost as if the defense was taking over, and you just don't want to make a mistake. Now, that kind of hockey can work during the regular season and the postseason. It can bite you. So it's Vasilevsky versus Bobrovsky in this one. Uyghur takes a penalty 27 seconds in. So that doesn't help the flow of it either. You've got early special teams that can take some of the flow out of the game. Panthers don't let them set up. Colton had a blast that saved. And then there was a shorthanded rush for Reinhart that finishes off the kill. There was just the one shot. That was Colton's on that power play. Kucherov then had a net feed, which was a near miss. 4.5 minutes into this, the shots are 2-0 for Tampa. Now, Florida's no stranger to starting slow. Florida's done this all season. They start slow, they have a rough first 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden they just turn it on. So I was kind of waiting on that. Colton steals one, his net feed is blocked. There's a high stick that then gives the Bolts their second power play. Both legit penalties to start the game. But again, it does take kind of some of that flow out. The Panthers prevent the setup again. Hedman has a blast that's saved. Florida clears it out. And then it's Ekblad this time who had the shorthanded rush that finished off the kill. So Florida's penalty kill, good early. And, it just, we're not getting that flow in the game as of yet. The shots are 3 apiece at the half. Belmar has a shot that's held. Not very many pucks that were in close. So a lot of the shots were from a distance. And again, this is by design for both teams, right? They're trying to have that defensive hockey working for them. Panthers press with 7.5 minutes left. Forsling has a blast that goes wide. Montour has a shot that's blocked. And then at 14:01, Anthony Duclair scores from Huberdeau and Montour. That's the first career playoff goal for Anthony Duclair. Great pass by Huberdeau. And all of a sudden, Florida's ahead 1-0. And you could sense that momentum starting to pick up. Lustarinen's denied on a turnover. Momentum's with the Panthers. Duclair has a chance that's saved on another turnover. Tampa was not tidy with the puck in that first period either. Panthers also intercepting the puck well. So two things can be true. One team could be turning the puck over too much, and the other one could be very good at intercepting passes, which is what we were seeing. Bennett has a net drive. That won't go. The Panthers, though, do press after that. Hagel beats out an icing call, but they can't follow that up. The Panthers do clear it out. Palat's denied in close during the final minute, so Tampa Bay tries to tie it late, and they cannot. Your score is 1-0 Florida after one. Decent home period for Florida. Second period, the Panthers kind of pick up where they left off. They had the early jump. Power play for Panthers comes from a press. Now, their power play was 0 for 18 in the first round. Very good penalty kill by Washington, but there's something funny that happens in the playoffs. A team will start to get it in their head that they can't get that power play goal, and it starts to bother them. And I think Florida's kind of getting into that range right now. The Bolts did kill that off, just the 2 shots, and nothing overly dangerous for Florida during that power play. Paul then has a net drive that was held. The Bolts are keeping the Panthers to the outside on a press after a failed 2-on-1. The shots are 3-2 in favor of Tampa at 5.5 minutes. Remember, 2 of those minutes they were shorthanded. Sorelli has a chance that's held. Giroux then had a blast that was saved. Tampa clears it out. Barkov with a rush chance. That's held on 2-2. This is the other thing. Vasilevsky clearly coming out of Game 7 against Toronto. A lot of confidence, playing like Vasilevsky. Bad news for Florida with that happening. So Paul's denied. Palat can't bury the rebound from that. Montour then had a blast go wide. Both teams generating chances, which I thought favored Florida. Florida, the more explosive offensive team. But in this game tonight, surprises take place. So some slashing and poking around leads to 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Reinhart had a snapshot that was held. The Panthers then get a power play. Ekblad fires one wide. Huberdeau had a shot that was blocked. Much better looking power play than the one they had before this. Uyghur gets robbed, and then McDonough with a rush opportunity that ends the power play for Florida. Gudas fires one wide. The Panthers press. Vasilevsky holds. And again, the momentum at this point is all Panthers. It's a 1-0 lead in favor of Florida, and they just look like the better team to this point in the game. Giroux has a rush chance that's safe, but then with 3:59 left, power play for Tampa. So what happens is you end up with a fast break, 2-on-1. They scores the goal. It's Perry from Kucherov at 16:22. Perfect pass, pretty easy goal. Basically, Kucherov gets all the players on the ice to look at him, So you can put it over to Perry, and Perry can put it in what's basically the empty net at that point. Paul then had a stretch pass that was blocked. The Panthers press with 2 minutes left. With 1:04 left, Tampa Bay goes back to the power play. Hedman fires one wide. Stamkos with a net feed. That wouldn't go. Barkov, shorthanded rush, ends the period. So after 2 periods, the scores 1 apiece. Third period, Chernak, not on the bench. He hadn't been on the bench since a big shot block in the second period. He took a puck in the back. Had to hurt. Anyways, break a rib doing that. So, Bolts press for another, but Sergachev has, Panthers finished the kill. There were 4 shots altogether. I don't think any of them were after the end of the second period, though. Verhaeghe then had a one-timer. That's held by Vasilevsky in the zone tonight. Killorn had a rush chance that was saved. Bennett had a net feed that's defended. Colton blasts wide on a rush, and his next opportunity was held. So after that hold, the face-off is won by Tampa, and they score pretty quickly. It's Belmar from Perry at 3:35. So now the Bolts with their first lead of the game. Now, Florida famously, 32 comeback victories this year. That is right behind the Carolina Hurricanes in 2006 and the 1984 Edmonton Oilers. Both of those teams won Stanley Cups. And that's including regular season and postseason. So it's just one of those little trivia things, and we'll see whether or not, Florida does end up winning this series and moving on and maybe winning a Stanley Cup. But anyways, Bolts press for another. Sergachev's stick ends up breaking. The Panthers then press at 5.5 minutes. Verhaeghe had a rush chance that was saved. Palat has a shot that's blocked. Maroon couldn't bury one in close. Giroux with a turnover chance. That was blocked out. So Tampa Bay's doing a good job of blocking out shots at that point as well. Perry has a net drive that's held with 8:44 left. The Panthers get a power play, and they needed to score, which they did. However, the puck hit the netting. So it was a goal. I think it was Duclair's goal. It doesn't matter. I'd written it up for like 2 seconds until you saw in the replay that it hit the netting. Here's the weird part. The referees can't go back and review that automatically. They had a little talk about it. So basically, Cooper had to challenge it. Cooper asked them, so you're calling that a good goal? And they're like, yep. And he's like, yeah, so I'm challenging it. Because you could see on the replay, clearly it hit the netting. And so it's no goal. And that's a rule that was changed a few years ago because we did have a goal that was scored after it hit the netting. So, Panthers can't set up on resume play because it took a while for that to happen. Bolts do kill it off, and they allow the 3 shots. So Florida's not able to get that power play goal there, which they would have had it not hit the netting. Montour then fires one wide on a rush. The Panthers with a 3-on-2. Vasilevsky saves, and we get some back-and-forth rushes, which kind of surprised me a bit because Tampa wouldn't have been wanting that at that point. 4:51 left. Forsling with a penalty gives the Bolts a power play. And it could have been 4 minutes. They called it as roughing, but it looked like on the replay the high stick caught him. Killorn did exit for some repairs, so they absolutely could have made that a 4-minute penalty. They didn't. Even though the Bolts were arguing from the bench, look, he's bleeding and we've got to send him to the room, and it was a high stick, and they called it roughing. So I'm pretty sure it's just on a high stick they make that 4 minutes. So if you're going to injure somebody and make them bleed, do it with your glove, not with your stick. Hockey's weird. Explain that to a new fan. Well, yeah, he drew blood, but he didn't do it with his stick, so it's not 4 minutes. Really? So, Stamkos has a shot that's held. Stamkos then blasts his next opportunity wide, and then Tampa Bay scores. So there was a goalie interference challenge, and on the replay, I could tell this wasn't coming off the board. So the way that this works is that there was some contact with the goaltender as the puck's being shot, but he's on the white ice. He's not in the crease. He's allowed to be there. The goalie doesn't really have the opportunity to reset on that play, but I understand why that goal stands. So it's power play goal for Kucherov from Hedman and Stamkos at 15:54. And then the problem is that while Cirelli bumped Bobrovsky, and I understand the challenge, now you're back to killing the penalty. Now you're down by 2 with 4 minutes left, and you're trying to kill a penalty. Then Perry has a tip chance that was saved on the power play that follows that. There's a shorthanded Luostarinen chance that was saved, but then it's 17:44, so almost at the end of that power play, Tampa Bay puts it out of reach. It's Colton with the power play marker from Paul and Sergachev. He scored on a rebound, and the building cleared out very quickly. Florida fans, gone. And it's funny because the announcers both mentioned it like, it was a flood of people out the door. And I understand, I get it. Had to be frustrating. You get all excited, here's our team, and especially after the first period, probably thinking, hey, we're going to win this, and then, nope. So anybody left in the building, I'm assuming, was a Tampa fan at that point. So they did try to pulling the goalie with 1:57 left. Reinhardt's denied and close. Giroux hits the outside of the net, but in the end, A, they don't allow the empty netter, but B, they don't get any goals with the 6-on-5 advantage. So Tampa Bay wins 4-1. They have a 1-0 series lead. This makes things interesting. Your 3 stars, Vasilevsky number 1. Bad news for everybody when Vasilevsky gets going. And after a pretty rough first round against Toronto, he looked like he was in the zone against Florida. Kucherov and Perry are the other stars in the game. Your shots are 10-8 Florida in the first, 13-10 Florida in the second, 18-11 Tampa in the third. Final shots 36-34 by the Lightning. Power plays, Tampa Bay 3 for 6, Florida 0 for 3. Both teams had 30 hits in this game. Vasilevsky saves 33 out of 34. That'll help the save percentage. And Bobrovsky saves 32 out of 36. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding this game. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.